Yeah,
right.
exactly. Holy shit.
Yeah. Wiggles out.
High rolling entertainment, let's go. Oh, Polly.
I miss Polly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that is certainly a start.
We are gonna
Nothing like rolling a -1 on your dice check.
Jesus.
yeah.
Okay. Dice check, fine.
Hey, that's like the highest you can roll. Well, that's a pretty good start. There's my
I love the numbers flying at this speed. So good. Yes.
I love the no context. It's funny.
It still works.
We must go back.
No.
Bad. Oh,
I'm more
that's-
terrified of that cave than you all are.
Out of 10 D4, I only rolled 1 1. That's crazy.
That's a lot of eyeballs.
There's a lot of eyeballs. Freaking
What did we
D4s.
roll on the Power Rangers die?
The caltrops.
Oh, damn, nat 20 on the Power Rangers die. Let's go.
Damn. Roll bad.
Yeah.
It's just 20 on every side,
I
but 1.
love the SpongeBob.
For Christmas, my sister got me a set of Black Ranger die. And the nat 20 is the Power Rangers Lightning Bolt. And
Okay.
it's awesome.
Oh, dude, that is
That
great.
does sound dope as
I just took a look at your Astara and I was sitting down. That's great.
Thank you.
Fucking wow.
Let's see.
I know, right? It's fucking gorgeous.
It's so funny when I was drawing it, starting from the top down, it started as this very like wizened elder Goliath woman. And then as I going down, it turned into mommy. Sorry.
Right.
The gown's like that translucent with the fuzz
Yeah.
blue at the bottom. That's fucking dope.
Oh. Okay. Oh. It's been a minute. Which is funny because at the end of the last VOD, we actually call out like, don't worry, we'll be back next week. What could possibly happen?
What
And
could
then
possibly go wrong?
Percy did not actually be able to do game for the next couple of weeks. So maybe we don't maybe we don't taunt the D&D god of scheduling in such flagrant disrespectful fashion. I apologize.
So we're definitely playing next week too then. Got it.
I am not saying
If God's-
yes
if
or
the God's
no.
will
If the, if the gods will it, then it shall be permitted.
I'm just trying to help. What are you talking about?
No, you're right. You have to be a player has to initiate the statement. I can't, as the DM, initiate the statement because that's where the problem comes in. Now, I am manipulating the charts ever so slightly, given that you're my husband. But
Yo, if you call it out and then you say it, that is jinxing the jinx, which will make it, be okay.
so then we just need another person to unjinx the jinx, but we can't do it right away because then it'll anyway. So when we last left off, Stara had helped gain you all access back into the depths of Moag, thanks to the ingenious and somewhat luck-sacky quick-wittedness of Urugaru, having still holding on to Snowy's brush, with Snowy having stayed with Babs, as long as he has at this point, was able to circumvent some otherwise potentially precarious situations. Babs was super excited to see everybody. Snowy was even more so. We gained a little bit more insight as to the current level of sort of militant force that exists within Moag right now. While previously it seemed as though it was mostly some light level surveillance, things seem to have cracked down a little bit, with a note that it looks like one of the following factions is looking for something or someone. So we know that there are pods of Abishai patrolling around. We know that there are Sioux Knights patrolling around. And we know that there are members belonging to the Shadow that are patrolling around. Though, with some amount of fortune, it seems as though the groups don't work well together at all. They are absolutely willing to start fights with each other, making it a little bit easier to navigate around them, should you play your cards correctly. Which you were able to do so. As you made your way from Babs's Curios to the secret location of the Harpode family, Call and the rest of the party had come across what looked like a patrolling group of Abishai and a patrolling group of Sioux Knights. Call then went to go push Tyke, and while his push lacked the convinciveness that we were hoping for, Tyke was able to help sort of curve the situation in the favor of the party and was able to sort of oversell excuse me, oversell the blow in such a way that made it seem more believable. You all eventually made your way down the dark alleyway leading to the secret location of the Harpodes, where upon opening the door, you not only saw Willard, Bagras, and Eula, but also Red Rage.
Red Rage.
That was the last
Aw,
thing I
shit.
remember
Right.
from that session. So whatever happened after that, I wasn't here for.
There was only a tiny bit of roleplay that kind of happened afterwards where we went on to explain that while Eula's condition is technically critical, so she should not get into fights, and she should not push herself by any means. She's not going to die. She's just wounded. She has several points of fatigue, meaning that if she were to try and participate in any kind of battle or encounter, she'd be doing so at a major detriment because she's still in recovery because of the wound from the dagger in question. Red Rage also elaborated that the dagger needs to be destroyed. This particular dagger was forged in the Great City Forge of the Mountains of Wrath, which is where Call is from.
Wrath. So she's got about 3 hours to live and just acting strong. Got it.
Yeah.
So
You-
Rail, obviously, it's still in cat form, rushes towards Red Rage, but like mid-stride, like turns back into human form, and just fully flies into her, wrapping her arms around her, not even saying a word, just fully embraced.
Red Rage is like mid-conversation talking to Archmon about the severity of the situation, which is all of a sudden is completely the fuck tackled.
I hate to be the one to bring logic into this, but if you tried to go from running on 4 feet to running on 2 mid-stride, you would definitely faceplant off of that.
I think they're
mean,
relying on the
right.
faceplant aspect to help propel them forward into Red Rage.
It's called a
It's like a belly
springboard
flop.
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's part of the maneuver.
Imagine a
Interesting,
cat
Mhm.
like leaping upwards towards a person and then turning into a person. So the forward paws are arms now.
Crossbody! By
Actual
God!
Yeah.
By
bad
God!
cat?
The
Animal?
spear.
I was gonna say we had animorphs, so
Wouldn't this be a check?
Animorphs were
Acrobatics.
creepy as fuck, though.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
check.
but they were also awesome.
They were very cool.
Yeah.
I think there was one other thing. As I was talking to Red Rage, I also kind of revealed that, yeah, we got into, a bit of a ruckus. Not a surprise for the son of the Ribbon Thorn.
yes.
which-
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was the mother face
And
crack of the fuck did you just say?
And I look over to my mom at that point, yeah, so I suppose we're perhaps having a stare off.
There's a non-zero amount of sparks sort of flying
The
between
shrug.
mother and son.
I can't help
With-
but smirk.
Tyke acting nervous between the two because she obviously likes the both of you, but like this is clearly not something she wants to intervene with, neither with Willard, or Willard's probably feeling the same way at this point, so both of them are just sort of cautiously waiting to figure out what the other one's going to say.
I'm smiling a little bit at this
Yeah,
point. at her.
Exactly like that.
Eula will remain silent.
Moment just like stretches on, and Call just takes like a bit of dry tack out of his pocket and just kind of like munches it and tries to be quiet, but it's extremely loud in the
Anybody
silence.
who's interested in what Eula might be experiencing right now, feel free to roll an insight check.
I'm
I mean,
my
yes.
face is fully buried in Red Rage's bosom.
Would have gone right over my head anyways. And I'm 8'2". It's hard for things to go over my head.
Excuse me.
Some good hardtack.
Get my feet up. There we go.
Nothing goes over my head. My
Insight, insight,
fast.
that's-
Just
Oh yeah, my favorite rolls. Oh, my favorite
is
rolls.
darkness
Apparently.
still-
I know my mom.
Darkness is a little naive of the world still.
Yeah, with a 15 though, like
Mm.
you recognize
Mhm.
that look of discomfort, but it's the first time you've ever seen that in a mother. Like, because your mom lacks you fully believe that your mom lacks the ability or
Human
the
emotion.
empathy to feel what
Anything?
Archon's mom might be feeling right now. So it might be a little bit peculiar for you because you're like, why would she be? She's the mom. Like, not that you're beyond the understanding of like Archmon's being a little bit disrespectful right now, and so like you know what your mom would do in the event that you were to say something along those lines. It's giving, if you've ever gone to a friend's house and they sassed their mom. I don't know about the rest of you in real life, but I could never. And if I ever saw a friend do that, I was like, "Are you kidding me? My mom?
Yeah.
Absolutely not."
The scars probably from the whippings, or the bruises from the manacle chains, so phantom bruises, start
Motions
tingling
are
again.
weakness.
Yeah.
It's just it might be making you a little bit uncomfortable, is what it is, because you're just like because like Archimonde's not wrong in what he's saying here, but like in the same sense, like you're just sort of like it's giving you a little bit of anxiety. Can you actually roll me a wisdom savings throw?
Yeah. No, this is not a great sensation, but darkness has dealt with some shit.
You can kind of feel like you kind of just sort of fall back into yourself for a brief moment. You kind of like let that like weird silence when you're in a room with people talking, that you kind of just tune it out, and so you're able to kind of tune out a conversation a little bit in the same way that like when you go underwater.
Mhm.
But again, Eula's not saying much. There's kind of a look of frustration for sure, and maybe even like a tinge of embarrassment. Archmon, with your keen eye, you can kind of detect that when you say that to your mom, it actually kind of wounds her a little bit. Not in a literal sense, obviously, but in like
I guess the smile kind of fades from my face pretty quickly. That's not what I'm intending as far as being disrespectful about it. More or less, like, I don't know. There's some maybe by saying like cause a ruckus, that sort of thing, I'm implying maybe something else. But I don't know. I take a lot of pride in the stuff my mom's done. She's not taking it that way, I suppose. I sense that, I suppose.
Jackie, you're still eating popped kernels of corn.
Cool.
With Bog Ross.
Extra cool. Are we smoking?
Obviously.
Hell yeah.
Rail, as you collide with Red Rage, they kind of like lift you up like by the underarms. They're like, hello. It's good to see you again as well. They'll kind of like pick you up and plop you back down, like as respectfully as like when they pick you up, you haven't felt like a toddler in a really long time. Call is also very large and can pick you up kind of handily, though I don't think he usually does so with you. Maybe it's out of respect or sort of like he's not willing to cross that boundary with you. But Red Rage both seems incredibly confident and is able to pick you up with like the ease of a mother carrying around her kid. Like has just swooped you up and then placed you back on your feet with like this grace of a mother jungle cat.
Rail is just kind of standing there, lip quivering, eyes fully round and engorged with tears, just unable to get out the words she wants to say.
Red Rage is gonna look at Call and go, "Is she okay?"
She'll be fine. She just needs to figure out what her mouth is trying to say. I think she gets like this sometimes.
Okay, very good.
I was so worried.
It was why ever would you have been worried about me?
She like finally is able to sort of compose herself a little bit. There was I thought something happened. Someone was after you. I had these dreams. I kept seeing you running, and I was worried that they might have gotten to you before I could make sure you were okay.
You'll notice Red Rage's face kind of cracks a little bit when you mention that they've been running, and they'll kind of tense up a little bit. And but
When you say
before
cracks, so they're smiling?
no, like they go from having kind of like a warm expression to like suddenly the expression is shattered by like a brief realization that like they understand what's happening currently, while they were for a brief moment sort of taken out of whatever their harsh reality they're going through is, and now are again sort of re-realizing like kind of a splash of cold water what they need to do. So you kind of notice that, and that's what I mean when I say face crack, is like their expression went from looking one way to suddenly looking very different. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So Red Rage goes from looking kind of very warm and excited to see you, with a slight amount of concern, back to a more worrying state. They'll try their best to try and convince you otherwise. Let's roll to everyone. With a 25, is pretty convincing, though people can feel free to roll insight against me, DC 25.
Boy, I could hit that, so I won't bother.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty convinced. What does she say?
Nope.
So to those of you who don't meet or beat a 25, Red Rage will make some sort of joke about how, like, worried me? Look how strong I am. Look how fierce I am. How could you possibly be worried about me, babe? I can handle anything. It is just being very kind of convincing, but in like a little bit more of like a showboaty way, which is a little bit different, which would be the indicator that something was off. But
Rail kind of, Red Rage kind of flexes their muscles a little bit in front of Rail as like a joke, but Rail is entranced a little bit by this. Her eyes get really wide. She's suddenly not upset anymore, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. What was I even worried about?
Paul just kind of like waves his hand in front of Rail's face.
We have a dagger and a location
In the cave.
and a
Oh
cave.
my god.
Actually, Paul, roll me a percentile dice.
Jackie's high
Okay.
right now. He's thinking about the cave. He's thinking about how Bog Ross would probably really like the mushrooms we found in there.
Do you tell Bogros about the mushrooms in the cave?
Hell yeah, I do. Well, I try to. I'm really high, so I don't know how clear it comes
Roll
out.
me a history check.
Fuck. Yeah, alright, alright. Alright.
So with an 18, you're actually able to kind of recount to the best of your ability what the cave looks like. Because it was pretty unique on the outside. The temple itself had some pretty unique variables to it, and so you were able to actually sort of describe those in a nuanced way that even Bogros is like, whoa, I'll have to check that out, man. Alright, so it's by the river, and he's like drawn on his hand with his finger, like he can
Yup.
visualize what the river of
I
Moab
explained
looks
that, like, I also fed some of those mushrooms to a black dragon that we also shrank.
Whoa, you shrank one of the black dragons in the swamp of Moab? That's like fucking crazy. What did you do after you shrank her?
I didn't have to do much. It was just fun to watch, really.
Anyone else interested in regaling Bogros about the story?
Jackie,
Largely, largely struggled to stay alive.
There was a lot of cake.
It tasted good because of the magic dust that I put on it.
Cake is a loose way to put it, but it was food and it resembled cake.
And it tasted good. For cake.
It did taste good for what it was.
Bogros is like, I gotta write this down. Why am I coughing so bad?
You
I
haven't
mean, I'm
smoked
trying
weed
to
in a
I'm trying to think. Does Bob Ross know anything about the sword on Paul's back right now? Has he been aware of that? I
Ask
can't even
him.
remember as far
Dude,
as
we're just chilling. Come smoke some weed. No.
I feel like I have not given you all a thing called downtime, and so as a piece of feedback that I obtained, I'm trying to give you all some downtime. So we are not in a high octane moment. So yes, questions or opportunities to ask NPCs.
You better hurry up and ask him the question. Go.
I'm the wasting.
Well, I mean, we had well, quite an adventure in there. I mean, obviously we have now a group of kobolds that now more or less I don't know, not necessarily a god, right? But more their leader that calls now
Patron?
become for him. Yeah, well, maybe that might be pretty well. He's something to them, that's for sure. They hang on his every word. Also have this this sword on his back, and I kind of point to Call's back that it seems I mean, how you feeling, big guy? Like, any better with it recently? Which I know you
Cole's,
had. But
sorry.
I was gonna say, I guess, like, you had a noticeable, like, bump when, what was it, when you apologized for breaking Babs's thing or whatever, took accountability for it?
Yeah. So Cole will shoot Arkmon a look because he's always he's very cautious about pulling the blade out, but after a minute he reminds himself that this is a safe place. We're surrounded by allies, so he
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check really quick as Call's sort of peak paranoia sort of creeps in a little bit.
Me?
No, call.
Call.
All right. Nothing happens that you notice.
And Call will sign, just kind of with emotion, pull the sword from its place on his back and remove the cloth that he had wrapped around it, so that Bogros can get a proper look at it.
Awesome. I'm gonna take 1 quick second. I actually need to use the restroom really quick.
You're good.
So I can't help but to notice and also laugh a little bit that
Mm.
when I really look at the party goes through these adventures and experiences, when we look back on it, Jackie's experience and everybody else's experience is usually pretty different.
You know,
you are in a very different world where we're going
We
through
went
a lot
in a
of crazy
cave.
shit.
I
Oh
climbed
yeah,
around
the
some
cheese
rocks.
melted really cool. Like, dude, we almost
Cheese-
fucking
Right.
died.
Got
We
some
could have been
good
getting like
cheese
a
I
melted.
got high on mushrooms
Bro.
in a cave. I made a cake with a shrink and more shrooms.
We
that I
fought a
fed to
black
dragon.
dragon in Bahama and
I
shit. It's
didn't
fucking
fight
crazy shit.
I cooked the cake. It ate the cake, and then you guys had your shit happen. But like, I was just admiring my cake and how the dragon liked it so much. And then the dragon gets fucked up by another dragon, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess that's unfortunate that they didn't get to enjoy the cake longer, but. All right, this is the experience that Jackie's having. You guys are like, I go to war.
It's very much like that one guy from our MK1, Mortal Kombat 1. The bit where like Sub-Zero and like Kung Lao are fighting in the bar, and there's just a dude drinking.
Yeah.
And like Sub-Zero does like an ice blast at the bar, and like Kung Lao's like stuck. And so the guy just like he's just completely unbothered, just reaches off, pulls a chunk of ice and drops it in his whiskey and goes back to sipping it while they're just fighting.
That's definitely a Jackie move right there.
Rail,
Yeah.
can you roll me an insight check at disadvantage because you're distracted by red rage?
Yes. 1 second.
I wonder if Red Rage would like shrinky drinks.
Ho.
That is a 9.
Okay. Paul takes the blade out cautiously and unveils it in front of everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'll describe the adventure in the cave and the fighting the Bahir, finding the sword, the freeing the kobolds, and the eventual fight with the black dragon. So now everyone's caught up. To answer your question, Arkmon, I think it feels lighter, but I don't think I can wield it yet.
Go ahead and roll me a knowledge religion check, Call.
Mhm.
Knowledge and religion.
Yeah, Call, you get the
16.
sense the blade is still... It still hungers for something, but you don't know exactly what it's looking for.
All I can do is keep it safe until I can figure out
Red
what I
Rage's
need to
eyes
do
are
to prove myself.
Huge. She is in agog of the craftsmanship of this blade. Like you've essentially whipped out like a legendary weapon of sorts, and Red Rage is as a blacksmith, just like what?
That's the way
Is
that
this?
Rail wants Red Rage to look at them.
Just be a sword. I don't see what the problem is.
I'm working on it.
Best as I can tell, its name is Crusaor. It's connected with a herald of Bahamut. Beyond that, I don't know.
The last herald of Bahamut was located in Gestal, but that was a long time ago.
wasn't so. The shrines that we found were connected to. I forget her name. I'm sorry. The dragon that
Thalia,
Orthalia. Yeah, thank
my
you.
beloved.
Did you say that out loud?
No.
Never have any fun.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna show Red Rage my drawings.
But I think that it belonged to Thoralia. The one. She became something else, but she came back at the end of the fight. I don't know if we'd have survived if she hadn't come down and saved us.
Bob Ross looks really contemplative, and he's just like, yeah.
What do you mean something else?
You saw that dragon. That wasn't a natural born dragon. She wasn't created like that. Something happened to her.
It wasn't?
It chose that life.
I don't know.
Wait,
You dragons
I don't
are all
think we
kind of
went
weird.
through- What did she look like?
Orthalia was originally a black dragon whose primary hunting grounds was the swamps. And then in a different time, a different place, made a pact with the cult of the dragon to attain lichhood. This is what Bogros is explaining.
If I recall, they were like an undead dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy doesn't understand this, though.
Orthalia wanted to break free from her bonds.
Yeah,
And
why
she
they
did.
didn't eat my cake.
That's why she probably didn't want to eat your cake, yeah.
I feel much better now.
I'm sure if she was alive, she would love your cake. She doesn't mind polymorphing into other things.
Wow. She likes Polly?
She is what you would call a polydragon. Yeah, I guess that's technically accurate.
Polly's a dragon, too?
I mean, who's Polly?
I feel like we're sidetracking.
I mean, it is Jack.
Do you?
I am looking over at Jackie and just shaking my head, just like, oh, God fucking damn it, Jackie.
Jackie's good and high and trying to understand the situation, but ultimately feels better about things. Doesn't help the party anyway, I understand. But it doesn't have to. Does it always have to help the party? Or
No.
Okay.
It doesn't. It's just no. Call would fully just be the spoil sport here in that scenario. I'm sorry. I'm just playing the character. So after a moment, Call will glance over at Red Rage and kind of hold the sword out a little bit for her to inspect.
When you hand the sword to Red Rage, it is noticeably heavier in their hands. Like they practically can't wield it at all. While you're able to hold it in one hand and sort of maneuver it around, when you pass it off to Red Rage, it's very much Thor's hammer in that it like sinks to the ground, and it's only through like sheer force of will that she's able to hold it aloft at all.
When she starts to have trouble, Call will reach out again and then just like sort of hold it out, but in his hand, point down so that she can get a good look.
Like that is the. How strong is he? And she just sort of gestures at Rail.
I would like to try holding the sword.
Rail, this sword is
Roll
larger than
me
you
a
are.
strength check.
Can I be next? I'll be next.
Oh my God.
I feel like we're starting to again get a little distracted here.
Strength check or a savings throw?
Strength
I-
saving
I
throw.
think Carl needs some of this weed. Or what do we call it? Do they call it weed? Herb?
12.
It kind of sinks to the ground.
Damn.
Some chronic?
Man, that thing is heavy. Call, have you been working out? I kind of try like feeling around your bicep to see if it feels any different. And then I feel Red Rage's bicep.
Red Rage's is
Whoa.
noticeably bigger.
Whoa!
It's not a contest, but if
It
it
is.
was,
It's always a contest.
Red
Rail
Rage has
just
a
kind
19
of
in strength.
lingers, continuing to like feel Red Rage's bicep, like inspecting it, going,
Red Rage is giving big like arrow vibes right now, where they're just like, hello, hi, you may continue hanging here as long as it makes you happy, and your happiness is a good thing. I like seeing you happy. This makes sense. So we gotta look at Call and be like, this one is entertaining. I see why you keep them around.
All right, Jackie,
Yeah.
you gonna try and lift it?
Yeah, she's pretty great.
I
I'm
used
sorry,
another
when did
couch.
this become a carnival game?
He realizes that like
The second Rail decided that they wanted to try.
Yeah.
You made it look so easy.
Paul looks concerned and Jackie doesn't want to get off the couch right now, so
I feel it.
I'm not gonna.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Was somebody else trying to pick it up though? I'm
No.
legitimately curious.
I thought it was gonna be a group thing, and I was gonna go for it too.
I suppose I have grabbed it before, and wielded it for a little bit, just on my
But
back. But
Yep.
fuck it. Yeah, I guess I'm curious. Well, actually, you know what? Let me see that thing. Hold on. I want to see if it feels the same as it did before. I mean, you said it got lighter, right?
It did. At least I think it did. Just be careful, right?
I will. 14.
You're able to wield it, but not with the same sort of elegance that Call is currently.
Does it feel the same in comparison to when I had it before? Because I have had
It's
it.
a little hard for you to tell.
Just heavy
Go
as
ahead
fuck,
and roll
basically.
me. Well, with your passive investigation, I would say, like, it's kind of like when you're trying to gauge like a half ounce of weed without a scale. Like, you're like, this feels about the same as the last time I got one of these. So like in your mind, you're like, yeah, this seems about the same. It doesn't seem lighter.
Yeah,
So
no,
as
certainly.
as you put it down, you're gonna notice that Jackie's now standing directly behind you.
What the? Jesus.
I mean, if you're gonna give it a try, I want to give it a try.
How did you do that?
After you. God,
Um,
dude, that's fucking great.
So I am curious to know what this sword does to a character that truly believes in everything because he knows he doesn't know better yet. So I guess can I try to lift it? Is that okay?
Roll me the strength savings throw.
It's a -1 earlier.
Jackie lifts the sword with the same sort of fervor as the gif of the like, I have the power, like one-handed power of Grayskull, fucking Jackie. 0 issues.
This thing
What?
might be good to make some grilled cheeses. I don't know. I could do a lot. It's like a line I could do on this thing.
It's slightly heavier when you mention grilled cheese.
No, grilled cheese was last
It's
time.
actually gets heavier.
How did you? How? You are not making grilled cheeses with a relic of Bahamut.
Just Bahamut, not like grilled cheeses. The sword gets lighter. No.
Everyone likes grilled cheeses. Like,
Everyone like that.
I'll hand the sword back to Cole. That thing's pretty cool, man.
It is, or it would be, if I could wield it.
I mean, it's just a sword. It's just like, swing it. You got
Yeah.
this.
I
Believe in
agree.
yourself.
You just gotta do the thing that you know you can do, and then I've seen you do it. You should keep doing it. You can do it with that.
Paul will look at the sword for a second, shrug, and give it a few test swings just to See how it feels from the last time you tried.
Still feeling pretty weighty, like not at a comfortable level for you to tactically use in battle. You could technically beat people with it. That's not to say that you couldn't use it as a sword, but you would be using it with the same kind of finesse that you would be like a chair.
Does Paul kind
Right.
of understand why Jackie was able to lift it so easily, or is he confused?
Call is
What's that?
thoroughly confused.
You're confused, okay.
I'm thoroughly confused. I don't know if
roll a
I
religion
understand
check.
it.
You're
Can I-
confused. I'm fucking confused.
Can
As
I
a-
as
as a-
well?
As a player, I kind of understand
18.
it. My character has
I
no
might-
fucking clue. Like,
I think I'm gonna learn something.
You couldn't ask Jackie why.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. He wouldn't know.
Call will just kind of like so. Jackie is like
I have a negative
rough-
2 on
like-
strength.
no, I'm talking about like in terms of height. Jackie is like about midriff level for Call. Call just kind of like hunches so that he and Jackie are just like eye to eye for a
Wait,
second.
How tall are you?
He's like over 6 feet.
You're just only over 6 feet? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Isn't
Got it,
it
got
How
it.
tall? How tall?
Eight
How tall
or
is Jackie? I
something?
thought you were not large.
I'm 4 foot.
You're 4. So yeah.
Still,
you're,
still a little, like 2 foot drop. Yeah, no, okay.
so
That's
Call will
6'6".
just kind of like
Call is 6'6".
6'6".
6'6",
Because like
so yeah,
Uber's,
6.5
like 8
feet
foot,
tall.
right?
yeah.
Got it.
He's large. He is 2 Jackies tall.
So you're gonna bend it. So I usually am smaller with a shrinky drink, to be fair, but I don't have any right now.
So Cole will just kind of like get down on Jackie's level for a second and just kind of regard him for a long moment. You believe in everything you do, don't you?
I mean, how couldn't I? You just gotta go and get what you're gonna go and get, because if you don't have that kind of mentality, you're not gonna get it. That's how you grow up on the streets.
Cole will just like stare at Jackie for a long time and then turn to Urugaru. Is it weird that that's starting to make sense to me?
You know, you shouldn't worry about it. You are strong, and like, I know you could get it if you just want to get it.
You know what? You might just be right.
I mean, the only thing stopping you is you.
Myself.
See?
Red Rage
I-
is gonna look really uncomfortable for a brief moment and kind of tap Call on the shoulder and be like, there was something else.
What?
And she's gonna kind of look nervously at the rest of the party and she's gonna hand you a note.
I got this.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it directly to Call.
I will. I have edited it since.
Oh, I sent him the one you sent me.
Okay. The only edits were because I wrote it hastily, so
Yeah,
I didn't have a chance to spell check and things like that.
you're good.
That's the note that you have in your hands.
Okie dokie.
I think that makes sense from Razor's perspective.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll just say it's in character.
Jackie's gonna go make grilled cheeses because he talked about them and now he wants them. Is that okay?
Yes. Roll me a performance check.
I just want to make sure the kitchen's open and I'm allowed to use it.
How much
so.
bread and cheese we got? Bread.
Oh no, I'd be using theirs at this point.
Your dad's like, your mom really likes grilled cheeses. It's like the one thing that keeps her happy on the couch.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, dude.
Can someone help make
That's
some tomato
grilled cheese.
soup too? Anyway,
Now you're getting crazy.
I'm not. I can't do that, but someone else could. I am making the shit out of them right now. I'm high, and I'm happy.
Make it taste like tomato soup. 27. With a 27, you're whipping out some of the best grilled cheeses ever. It's starting to smell like butter and melted cheese, and Bob Ross is making jokes and just trying to make
I know
everyone
he's
feel
high, and everyone's gonna have the munchies here in a minute because he's
kind of relaxed and kind
a
of
little hot
happy.
boxy, you know.
So while everyone else is kind of relaxing and enjoying in this brief gentle moment, Red Rage and Call kind of have or at least Red Rage has a kind of solemn expression on their face.
Red Rage. What does this mean? This sounded very final.
The Knights of the Barrel Blade found him.
No.
He's being executed. In
When?
3 days.
Sorry.
In 3 days.
Got plenty of time.
Can I try to hear that or think perceive if I hear that? I guess.
Anybody who is not Call or Rail can roll a perception check at disadvantage because Jackie
Wait,
is
what?
loudly.
Super.
What? You got Rail heard it because you were right there because you were literally like inside of
Oh,
the
okay.
crate.
I thought you were saying I wasn't allowed to hear it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
no, no, no. You were hanging on Red Rage's bicep as they're telling as they're
Perhaps
as they're having this
distracted,
moment
but-
with Call.
Yeah, no surprise.
But everyone else is slightly distracted
rolled
by.
twice today and only rolled once.
Fucking diving into that grilled
Oh,
cheese.
that
of
didn't
course.
work. Alright, let's re-roll it.
The food smells good. Your mom's finally talking to you because your dad mentioned grilled cheeses, and they're like, "Do you have any questions? Like, what? So you used a name. Where'd you hear that?"
So, I mean, if she
Ironically
truly,
enough.
I would, seeing her reaction, I wouldn't mind having. I mean, it's kind of hard to have maybe a true one-on-one right now, but I suppose I would explain that I did hear it from Razor, when he kind of revealed maybe a former former meetings or whatever, kind of knowing of my mom back in the day, more or less, and show me that wanted poster. This kind of
Wanted
being
poster?
also with the information that, I mean, truly, Arkmon's able to confirm this with the information he got from Bog Ross, but he's not trying to throw Bog Ross maybe under the table on this one, because Bog Ross definitely talked about that as well, so
Yeah.
that kind of confirmed everything. But he's not, yeah, he's just bringing up the wanted poster and Razor.
Your mama mentioned that she remembers Razor, but like remembers him as a kid, like.
Somewhere in the gallows, Razor's heart fluttered a little bit.
Like, it was like, man, he was just like this little. He's just this kid who just really wanted to be something and do something, and like I don't know, like there are times where I wasn't so sure about him, but knowing that he helped you get back to me makes me want to say good on you. Like,
He was at times hard to work with, but honestly, I think he meant to do well by the people around him, and
oh, stubborn as a mule, that one. Always had to do things his way, and he was always convinced his papa was telling him what to do from beyond the veil, which isn't the craziest thing we've ever heard of. Obviously, there is a realm of the dead. It is a thing. It's just like, why would you want to listen to that guy? Like, he's clearly dead. But
No.
that feels a little disrespectful in the
He
heat
already
of the
fucked
moment.
up.
You know what I mean?
yeah. So honestly, I'm worried about the guy. I mean, there's a lot of shit that seems to be going on around him. And
Call, you over here, Arkmon mentioned that he's worried about Razor.
Yeah. And you have a right to be. Called turns over and joins Arkmon and hands him the note.
Hold
and
on, hold on.
oh, okay.
I got it. I already got it copied, so. That. That's what you see.
Hold on one second. Let me see this.
What's it, memes? No. Okay, never mind.
There has been some memes, but
There's most definitely been some memes. Been memeing up a storm.
speaking of which,
Jackie, roll me a knowledge arcana check. Bargrass is gonna help you make some grilled cheeses.
not a strong suit, but we're doing all right today.
All right, with an 18, you actually notice that Bargrass seems to have like a magical way with lighting this with the way he's lighting this cast iron. It is staying perfectly to temp, like across the
Oh.
surface. So there's
Okay.
no like weird blotchy spots that are a little bit too cold or a little bit too hot. Like it is maintaining the perfect temp. And you
That is
only
a
notice
dream.
this because you're so used to making grilled cheeses. You know that there's usually like the first one that you make that doesn't come out quite the right way, and then you make a couple, but then it starts to get too hot or too cold or whatever. You notice with your Arcana check that Boggrass seems to be using some sort of ability that's allowing you to create the perfect crusted grilled cheese each time with minimal effort.
Guys, so I'm skilling up a little bit with the cooking then.
You are skilling up a little bit with the cooking, yes, by Boggrass teaching you how, like his trick, his tips and tricks
Sweet.
for the perfect cheese.
After.
Roll,
sorry.
I was gonna say, roll me a quick perception check though, Jackie.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
This is something we can do, although now I'm scared because I'm rolling so good on things I can't do.
No one has hit it yet, so.
It is a strong suit though.
With a 24.
Shit.
With a 24.
Performance, stealth, and perception are my strongest.
With a 24, you notice something that you hadn't noticed before about Boggrass. And you're not entirely sure what words to put to it, but like the more you work in close quarters with him, the more you kind of get the notion that he's very old.
Boggrass is the cave.
Shut the fuck
God
up.
damn it.
This is a goatsy situation. No, okay, nope, you've noticed that he's very, very old. Like he's older than
So
like
he's a wise old bat. Got it. Cool. How long have you been making grilled cheeses for?
he'll make a joke about like, since like before the concept of time was like popularized.
Were the grilled cheeses better back then?
I mean, they were like different because like you have to think of it like creation, right? Because like part of the beauty of creation is that like it's chaotic, you know, and so you never really know like what is the perfect grilled cheese, right? Like these are all made in a particular way because I think that they're perfect, but what you and he'll just like go off on this random tangent that like never fucking circles back to the original question.
All right. Well, he inspired
Roll me a
absolute
D10.
a D10. He
Yes.
inspired the shit out of Jackie with the things that he just said there, because like we have a lot of serious business that our group has to go through, and the thought of doing something just for fun still kind of blows my mind, because it's always been about survival for Jackie in the streets. And now we got this group. It's like we finally have family, but there's all these other issues we got to deal with. But the thought of trying to figure out how to make the best grilled cheese possible is exciting the shit out of him right now. He can't help it. Like living life. But yeah, here's D10. Not just surviving
So Bob Ross will go on for the next 20 minutes about how the creation of the perfect grilled cheese has more to do with like where time and space is in relativity to the weave, and how like you have to listen to the ebb and flow of the various planes of existence to really channel it. Like he's just going off on like some of the craziest theories you've ever heard pertaining to fucking food.
Does it make sense to me because I'm high right now and it won't when I'm not high, or?
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it also doesn't not make sense.
It's like a feeling, guy.
Right. Like it's not a direction you could take.
It gives Jackie hope that the perfect grilled cheese can exist and we can get there.
And Bogras is trying to communicate that the perfect grilled cheese is in you. Like it's just waiting for the time and the
Nice.
place to come out.
So it's like the sword. Got it.
Grilled cheese is your heart.
Everyone will eventually get their grilled cheese.
Like a little grilled cheese in your soul.
Everyone
Yep.
will get a little birdhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will
Um,
get a little grilled cheese.
The inner grilled
Everyone will
cheese.
get
I
a
will-
little great sword.
I will say I did want to bring up after reading the note that handed by call. I want to I suppose go over to him, more or less kind of whisper over to him. So what do we do now? Like
We're pulling a few different directions.
I mean, we need to get rid of this curse, and we need to get out of here. Honestly, I mean, we got.
Red Raid is going to make it very clear. There is no hope of saving Razor at this particular point. Like his execution is imminent.
There's no way we could make it to Weatherlight.
It's
Not
not in
without
Weatherlight,
magical
it's in
means.
Ravnica. And you'd have to be able
That's
to
in-
magically teleport into Ravnica.
He's in Ravnica.
Yes, he's being publicly executed in Ravnica.
What did he do?
Murdered
what
the
he
shit out of a bunch of Barrel Blade Knights.
He may or may not have murdered like a whole squadron of barrel blades.
Do you not so
Hey,
for those of you who
you
don't
know-
remember, back in Weatherlight there were a horde of sort of greener recruits that were Barrel Blade.
Whoopsie doodle.
And
Whoopsie
upon
We had what it was meant to be a lighthearted bar brawl.
They started it.
Turned into a
Yes,
murder
escalated.
fest.
yes, because
Listen.
that ever matters when dealing with.
I mean, on the streets, you don't start nothing.
And then
Listen.
I healed this poor guy like 4 times. And he just
Yeah,
kept
that
getting
was
killed.
pretty rough. Yeah, we definitely violated some Geneva suggestions.
I made a guy scream his head off so hard he died.
So those
Yeah.
are the reasons.
Fucking forgot
was-
about that.
that was a thing
Oh
that
my
happened.
God.
No, I figured he might have done something a little more heinous. Wouldn't have gotten caught for that.
Red Rage will mention that it wasn't exactly his first brush with the opposing forces, but like this was kind of definitely the straw that broke the back. He also got caught, which was the biggest problem. Usually he kept moving, but in this particular unfortunate incident, he just happened to get snagged. It was because he
Hey.
came back to Weatherlight to try and warn me. And so when he was captured, he told me to come find you here in Moag and to bring these. And then Red Rage will pull out 2 packages.
Is one of them spiritual?
Yeah. Glance very quickly at Ray.
None of them are orb
Step
shaped, I
up.
promise you.
The glance.
One of them is kind of orb shaped, but it is not the orb when you open it.
Everybody was a little worried for a
Even
moment.
better.
Yeah.
It's like balled up, and like when you open it up, like you realize it's too light to be the orb, and then you see it, and it's I believe it's a ring, right?
Yes.
Yes.
One to call and one to Archmon. The one to call will be the bracers of tactical blow. The one to Archmon will be the ring of mind shielding.
Ugh.
Hmm. I am having some trouble finding that.
Hold on. Let me pull up Razor here. Because I didn't pull them out of nothing. They were things Razor had on them.
Are we hearing this in the house here? Like, can we hear the games from here?
That's a great perception check. As a matter of fact, you can hear the games from out here.
Okay.
It seems like there's across the way. Excuse me.
Okay.
If you were to leave the confines of the secret place, you would notice that there's a back alley that leads to the club that Willard works at. And so you can kind of hear it echoing down the hallway.
Oh.
But you definitely hear the distinct noise of somebody participating in the games.
I don't have anyone that knows how to cast teleportation magic.
I mean,
Imagine that was the point.
I have Misty Step. That's not exactly the full thing. Can't go anywhere with
And just
that.
do it and
Nope.
refresh. Do it and refresh. Do it.
Um,
Misty step it until you can't anymore, and then take a long rest, and then do it again.
Right.
What we call the Nightcrawler strategy.
Oh, I thought that was just a dance move.
If I were 2 levels higher, I could get us there, but not at the moment.
Darkness, want to go to
No. No. He would do it to rescue a friend who's not anywhere near his parents, but
You actually think that there's a strong likelihood that your parents did the makeup for the people who are getting publicly executed, because that's a thing.
oh, 1,000. We've done it before. I've been in the room witnessing the person getting prepped. Like it's
very Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones. It's very the Hunger Games-y when executions happen because of people who decided to speak out against the crown in such a fashion. It doesn't happen very often, but it's a huge spectacle. Like, they kind of go above and beyond to really drill home the point that, like, the kingdom is here to protect you, and those who go against the kingdom are wrong. Let us show you how wrong they are.
by jumping off their heads or hanging them until they stop struggling. One of the two.
Thanks for pressing this, okay?
yeah.
There's lots of
Yeah.
You actually, Darkness,
Whoa.
would know a little bit more about the executions if you wanted to roll a knowledge history check with advantage, if you wanted to recall some fun facts about people you know who have been publicly executed before. If you want to try and probe that part of your brain, like to think.
I think Darkness starts for a second. And he's like, no. On second thought,
That reminds me of the day. No,
I think I'm
no.
good.
So the thing that you remember the most of, but you've chosen to block the rest out, is you get to the point where you're like, I know they get publicly executed, but then resurrection magic exists in the world, though it's expensive, but they still go to things to prevent that from happening. It usually involves bringing the bodies back to, and the rest of the memory is a blank.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a weird question. Okay, so I'm sorry. I have a weird D&D related question in your world. If you're sentenced to death, that is your punishment is death, and then you get revived, are you like free from your crimes?
So you'd have to find somebody willing to cast the spell, you'd have to have the reagent, and you'd have to have access to the body.
Of course. So, but if it was if they did somehow, I guess the crime would be your party getting to your body in some cases, but
So if you
technically
wanted to
served your
try to
sentence.
do a heist for
like,
For-
would resurrecting a criminal be like even greater crime, or?
yes,
Yeah, what
Okay.
are my laws by that?
Hold
Alright,
on, this is a good question.
You're right.
Because the resurrected person didn't commit that crime. And their sentence has been served. They died.
Right. So if Razor, I'm just thinking about Razor. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna die, but
You wanted to
gonna
try to
die.
loophole into the massive crypt in which we store all of the remains of the people that we wish to have stayed dead, so that you could go and try to obtain Razor's corpse, so that you can try and then true res him, assuming he even wants to come back, because that's the final variable. Because if the target's not willing, they don't come back.
Hmm.
That's necromancy. That's a different arc altogether.
Uh-huh.
Also an option for you to consider. Also fairly less expensive by comparison. Just gonna point that out.
whoa. Okay. Well, morals.
It's a
Darkness
different-
will. Darkness will mention that it is not uncommon for the very wealthy who are beheaded to be resurrected and assume identities elsewhere.
Yep.
So it is possible.
Generally, like, the insanely wealthy just sort of become liches, and they just don't ever really die in the first place. But again, that's very expensive, and when we say wealthy, we're talking like mega wealthy. We're talking practically dragon level of horde wealth, which is a little bit harder to attain because dragons exist, so they will come and they'll take your shit at some point, unless you happen to also be a powerful individual to some degree, or you employ a kingdom or some variable. There's a lot of resource grabbing in D&D.
They
But I
run no
digress.
pockets.
So I suppose I will be upon receiving this package, having read it, I don't have any way to further analyze it. I'll just go ahead and wear it off the bat.
Oh, that's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tap.
Call will also.
Are you gonna
slot
be
on the
in-
bracers?
Are you gonna be in
You're
my
about to
shit?
put on this ring, right? You
Oh
put on
my
this ring.
God. Yes.
And, you think you hear something.
Oh God,
hope
it's
I hear
Chuckles.
something. I hope I hear something.
We're sorry.
And you'll just hear you'll hear something in your head going, Can you hear me? Is this thing working?
We're trying to.
I hear you
Wait,
just
what?
fine.
How do I? Let's see. Have I had voice in my head before? I'm trying to think.
You've had
Voices
Yes.
that you don't
listening.
know.
I think I have before. I've dealt with this before. I tried to, I guess, think my response back. Wait. Razor?
Nah. Not Razor. Not this time.
Who's this?
I'm his father.
What?
Whoa.
I'm talking to you from the ring.
I got that much of it. I put this thing on and all of a sudden you're in my fucking dome. I gotta understand that. Yeah, that's probably why.
So, when I died, I was wearing the ring. As such, I left it to my son, and stayed in the ring myself to help guide him. Between the two of us, we had about half a brain cell, but we did the best we could.
That's crazy.
I
So-
don't want to stay here too long. There's not much more for me to do. But I want to tell you this. My boy trusted you with this ring. I can't say I don't blame him. You're a good group of people. You're made from good stock. Do me a favor. Try to remember him a bit more positively. He wasn't perfect, but when we grow up, trying your best, that means something, you know? I want people to know that it means something.
You know, it always seemed like he could have he could have been with us. I don't know. I wish it could have worked out differently. He did seem his heart was in the right place.
One more thing I tell you. There are people out there who would do a lot for this ring. So I'd recommend keeping it invisible at all times if you can.
Thanks for the heads up.
And with that, the voice stops.
So yeah, I have this weird purpley brain ring now that apparently had Razor's dad in it. That is now
Is there a song about like I made a friend today? Because I think you just made a new friend today.
This is an interesting one. I suppose I don't fully understand it yet myself. Just what was more or less explained to me through the letter. But yeah, I trusted Razor with indebted me with the ring, so.
Also, there would have been points where you would have seen him talking to his fingers, which would have seemed weird, but to you now, it makes total sense.
Now,
Dallas, you're on.
Oh.
Dallas, you're on mute.
I knew that.
Okay.
Thank you. So the first thing out of Call's mouth after some consideration would be, we have to go after him. And then after finally being convinced that that would be hopeless, he would vent some frustration, just kind of like crack his knuckles and be mad, smoke billowing out of the corners of his mouth.
Look, dude, like, at the end of the day, they don't really get rid of the corpses. They kind of, like, use them. So, we could maybe at some point get him back. Like, no guarantees, especially with my parents involved, but they like to use them for, like, labor and stuff. So, he's gonna be around for a while, at least until he disintegrates.
Rail looks mortified.
Yeah, like damn.
A couple of years at least.
Like when
If
your
you're
friend
trying to
accidentally
make me
trauma
feel
shares a
better.
little too deep.
If you're trying to make me feel better, you're failing spectacularly.
I'm just saying, dude, like, he's not gone. He's just temporarily on leave or something.
That doesn't make it better.
Well,
Is there really nothing we can do?
Kind of
I
makes
mean, do you know how to get to, several thousand miles in an instant? Because I sure
I
don't.
mean, Orthalia did kind of just boop us here, and I mean, she's pretty cool. Like, she and I are pretty tight too, I think. Like, we go way back, like to the cave days. I mean, it's kind of a long story, but
Imagine that you're
I
explaining this to Red Rage. Like, there's a super cool celebrity that I know. Maybe you've heard of them. Like,
I think I could probably get a hold of her. I think the best way to get a hold of her would be with that orb, because the orb is plays me to Orthalia. So I think if I get the orb, I can ask Orthalia to bring us to Ravnica, and we can get Razor back.
Really, don't think Orthalia is going to help us here.
Oh, she and I go. We're tight. We're tight.
Rail, that's a dragon lich. We're lucky that she got us this far. But I don't think that we're going to be able to save Razor.
Look, I just need the orb. Red Rage, did Razor tell you anything about where he kept the orb?
Red Rage is gonna look from you, Rail, to Call, and to Arkmon, and then back to you. Can I get a performance check? And a sleight of hand check. So one of you can choose performance, and one of you can choose sleight of hand to try and like low-key communicate Ixnay on the orb A.
I will sleight of hand.
Gonna. All right. Well, I'm on -1 performance, so here we go.
Oh, okay. This will be
He
the
is-
shit show office.
He is like 6'6" massive dragonborn guy that you're like try to subtly tell somebody through body language to stop it.
He's just like,
Oh, 25.
Combined total of 35. That is enough to kind of get the message across. And Red Rage will say, I had to give it to somebody to keep it safe. But don't worry, it's safe. And she gives you a wink, and I'm gonna have her roll persuasion.
Awesome.
That's gotta be with advantage. She just muscle mommied up. Right.
I rolled an 18.
She
I
flexes while
have
she
a
goes.
+7, so that's going to be a 25.
What do I roll?
So if you want to try and roll against it, we would say that that's a charisma savings throw or a wisdom savings throw. Maybe wisdom savings throw.
DC 25. Good luck.
I can beat that. I'm wise as fuck, bro. Fuck!
You got muscle mommied way too hard on this one. You just
Over
gotta
average
take the
wisdom
L.
still. Just gonna say it's over.
Now that's not to say that you have to be okay with it. You just
I'm definitely huffing. I'm like,
yeah.
right.
You are cheesecake after being told you've had enough treats for the day. Like
oh, that's an Angie baby.
like you don't have to be happy about the news. You just have to be
Y'all
willing to
don't-
accept.
Oh, I understand.
Sorry. Y'all fail to realize how much this baby screams every time we come into a room when she wants her treats.
I think I understand enough to make the analogy.
I've had a princess cat before. Zelda, oddly enough. was her name.
Zelda.
They're all
Yeah.
princess cats.
I never saw that cat.
They're all princesses. That's the trick.
I only ever heard that it existed.
She was adorable, but yeah, exactly. Very shy.
I mean,
So you guys have options.
From his understanding, it's Orthalia, right? Or, he even considers the Fae, I guess, in his mind. That would be the only other way to, really move that quickly to some other location, potentially, but that's a huge long shot.
I mean, I got teleported here from Ergamon, but I don't know how that teleport works.
You also have a Fae sugar mama, so
Well,
Just to
that- my
be a voice.
teleporting here from Ergamon didn't have nothing to do with the Fae.
Darkness, you would know that teleporting into Ravnica isn't generally something that they allow because it's a major capital, and it would be like having the ability to teleport directly into a major government building.
Yeah.
Like you could get near it, sure, but you can't get
Hmm.
into it.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is just to be a mild voice of reason here. Not only is getting into Ravnica via magic tricky, we'd have to go outside, well outside. But then we'd also have to, take on the entire city militia or somehow sneak into a well fortified prison that's designed to keep mages and monsters and break them out.
Referred to as the Rock. It's actually full of anti-magic to prevent people from being able to magically teleport in. And fun
Yeah.
fact, the Rock is actually loosely based off of Alcatraz.
Yeah, I was gonna
Aw.
say it's fucking
Yeah.
like because Ravnica
I
is
was
San
hoping
Francisco,
it was
right?
based
Yeah.
off
Ravnica
the
is San
Rock of
Francisco.
Gibraltar.
Yeah, so
It's also on an island. So
It is on an island, and it is surrounded by an anti-magic field, which prevents people from magically getting in. And then, in terms of just brute forcing your way in, there's obviously obstacles.
is there also an
Damn it.
Angel Island?
Hmm?
San Francisco also has the Angel Island. I wonder what they would be called here.
Demon Island.
You can go find out.
there's also that one island that's by the bridge that just has like the single house on it?
There's also a treasure island.
There's no treasure on Treasure Island. It
There's
is
not.
a
There's
lie.
only
Biggest letdown.
the most
You
you're gonna
guys
get
know
is
of.
a bridge toll.
Treasure is the friends you
Yeah.
make along the way.
Well,
Friends you throw overboard once you reach the island.
I know it was a long shot. Like, it's not real. I don't know. I want to think that there's some chance, but honestly, our next venture would be we gotta get the hell out of here. I think first of all, that's the most important thing. I mean, we got a friend that's probably on our tail, pretty pissed off with us at this point, and we got Curse to break. Feel like that's our next destination.
There's also one other thing. This note here says to look out for people, to change this world for the better, right? Well, there's a warehouse down the south side of town where they're mutilating baby dragons. Or they tried to hurt Trips.
Yo, I heard that. What?
What if we went down there and paid them a visit on the way out?
Well,
There's someone there I have a date with.
I mean,
before we go anywhere,
Who are you dating?
Figure of speech, Darkness.
what's it, Jackie?
oh, I don't mean to gloat, but I did make a bunch of food, and I think through all our talks and strategizing as we always tend to do, we should take a moment to eat and relax and enjoy the day. And so I'm gonna pass out these grilled cheeses that I made, and do we get anything for that?
Pretty sure I still have temporary hit points.
I was gonna say, I think most of you guys still have temp. From
Oh, never
the
mind.
do.
We rested.
I do not.
I have exactly 2.
I have no temp.
Oh, did we?
Then yeah, go ahead and babe, go ahead and roll a d12.
I mean, these grilled cheeses were bomb when he made them. Let's see this. Come on. Hey.
12, you know, and it's 12 and a
Nice.
fat
I'm gonna say everyone gets 13 temp hit points.
Nice.
Love it.
Can we rest first?
You can rest and still maintain your temp hit points. It doesn't
Oh, you
go
do?
away. At the end. Yeah, it just they just don't stack. So
Oh,
like
okay.
if you gained new temporary hit points, it wouldn't supersede. You wouldn't add them. So like if you had 10 and then you ate really good food for another 5, you wouldn't have 15. You would have to go beyond the 10 for it to start accumulating.
So
Oh.
my other hopes with this meal and what Jackie's been pouring his soul into is to try to soothe the rest of the party, because there's been a lot of stress and a lot of chaos lately, and a moment to just maybe like Arkmon's mom isn't gonna die, all the animals and people and everything, we're all here now. We're like we're not worried about anybody except for maybe Arkmon's girlfriend, but
I mean,
she's
also
here.
Razor.
so the thing with Razor is like we sure Razor was somebody that we knew, and it's not like we don't care and that we were hoping to be continued friends with him, but hearing about his like this fate is sort of like how many of you are like that kind of makes sense for what happened, like it sucks, and we do want to stop it from happening if we can.
We did
but
ask him to stop multiple times,
We did.
and he didn't do it.
It's just one of those things where it's like it kind of sucks, but it shouldn't be as impactful as the relief you're feeling now from really this is what we came here to do, is to make sure that everybody was okay. Like Arkmon's
Right.
mom was the biggest concerned, and the dad, and the animals and fucking Pike or Tyke, and now all of that's finally like we have a fucking moment right now where things are okay, except for Razor. And if there was
Yeah.
if there was
Razor
something we
also-
could do about it, like we will, but it's kind of looking kind of rough at the moment. So unless you guys want to drop everything for Razor,
It's
No,
Red Rage
no,
also
but Call
mentions that
will.
part of the reason why this happened was likely because he was sacrificing himself for somebody else, and she'll look not pointedly at you guys, but be like, it's entirely possible that whatever heat was going to come down on you all, he helped stand in the way of to give you guys extra time to do what was important. And I think going in after him would sully that memory for him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Red Rage is like, where's that weed bug? Like,
Yeah. Call will
philosophical,
stand.
cuddly on the couch next to
In
Ray.
all honesty, I think the only person in the entire group who is ready to drop everything to go save Razor is Rail.
Okay,
Because of the orb.
because he's friends with Red Rage, and
The orb.
I feel
Because he
bad.
knows where the orb is.
It's the orb. It's 100% the orb.
Jesus.
100%. It's the only real true reason why you would drop everything is the orb. After that, it's like, yeah, but
If Red
So-
Rage says that we shouldn't go after him, then I'm fine with that.
even though
we have so many things that we need to take care of, and we need to take care of as soon as possible.
Yeah.
we'll get you another orb. It's okay.
And all
You
we can
don't
do
understand.
I would
is
say
carry his memory forward.
We have orb
And
at
Call will
home.
just kind of will raise his grilled cheese sandwich and just be like, to Razor.
Toast? A toast?
With,
You're raising
with
a toast?
Oh,
I'm raising a
he's-
toast.
a toasty,
So-
cheese toasty.
He's so
Cheese
dead now,
toast.
though. You can't toast him. Oh man, there was still a chance we could have saved him. Anyway, I'm just saying.
ready to write him off.
You're toasting, man. He's fucking.
Well,
I
he's supposed to do just be like, well, oh well, and then move on. It feels like.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do?
Bring him
No, I
back.
get it. Which is why you say something. I guess I don't know. Am I being silly?
I didn't think so.
Is Call having this conversation, or is this Dallas
I don't
having
know anymore.
I thought it was a nice gesture. I'm going to toast your toast with my toast.
Toasting, and also sandwiching.
I would say if,
Sandwiching.
if I do have the ability to I know she's not like probably too mobile right now, but if I'm somehow able to have a one-on-one with my mom, apologize, I suppose, for maybe being too, I don't know, cheeky with my comment earlier.
Being roguelike.
But more or less saying that, but I'm, it wasn't, it's not something that I take with, it's not silly to me. I'm really,
She'll give you a big hug and tell her that try and convince you through mom speak that she understands. She worries about you.
It is Arkmon's mom rogue? Because they're using thieves speak amongst each other.
oh, that. I mean, I'm,
thieves can't, but it's mom's can't
She's-
instead.
I mean, she's always been tilted more toward like, I mean, yeah. I mean, I suppose there is that. I don't know if we ever defined like a true like class.
Your mom
for
has
her.
never used thieves can't with you before, but you have seen your dad use it.
Yeah.
And so you can assume based off of that your mom might also understand thieves can't. So if you wanted to try and thieves can't at your mom, you could. But you've never had a conversation with her in thieves can't.
Oh, that'd be fun. Let's do it. Do I have to roll something for that? Or is it just?
Roll me a performance check.
15.
Because, like, in my mind, it's sort of like when you learn conversational versions of a language versus learning, like, a professional version of the language. You know what I mean? So, like, when you learn a language, but you start by learning, like, the slang instead of, like, the formal flow of it. Your mom's a little bit more old school, but she can still pick up what you're putting down, and they will respond in kind, though a little bit begrudgingly. But in like the most mom way possible, they'll be like, "Your thieves' can't could use a little bit of work."
Of course.
Understandably. I bet it can.
But I suppose I could help you with it. It's tartar, not tartar.
Oh.
I'll clear my
Chowder,
throat.
not chowder.
I'll clear my throat and try to
Chowder.
follow.
Chowder, not chowder.
Chowder.
No,
Chowder.
chowder, chowder,
How dare you.
Dur.
Say chow.
Chow.
Say dur.
Dur.
Now say chowder.
Chowder.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, shut the fuck up, guys. Jesus. God, you guys all over, like, they're like, I'm imagining them, like, over my shoulder, like, completely eating a grilled cheese and chowder, like, getting crumbs on my shoulders and shit. Get out.
Into the chowder.
Jesus.
Jackie's like taking notes.
Might
Might need
Like,
some
"Ah,
water to wash that down.
Water.
I should make some chowder.
What do you mean?
But
Jesus.
it's a really tender moment because like she's also like, okay, now let me tell you how to tell somebody to go fuck off and die in one of the 7 hells specifically, and like,
That's a
so you
good
guys
one.
have like, right? So you guys have like a lovely like mother son bonding moment over how to curse people out in Thieves' Cant. It's a lot of like sticking your middle finger up but at a slight incant, where you're like, or it's the peace sign but with your elbows out, where you're like, I told them this means peace among worlds. But if your elbows are out all the way, that's actually Thieves' Cant for like fucking fuck off to somebody.
Alright.
Eat 2
Mom-
dicks
mom-
consecutively.
Yes.
Mom's
Alright.
can't confirmed.
There we go.
Moms can't what?
Oh.
Mom's can't.
Nothing.
It's not mom's can't. It's mom's can't. No. Okay. So.
Wow, it is really coming down again outside.
Is it?
Ugh. It's actually kind of quiet over in Runner Park.
It rained like crazy in San Jose, but I didn't even notice because we were in a fucking hotel on the 26th floor. Didn't even notice. That shit was wild. I could feel the building sway.
So you have an artifact that you know needs to be destroyed. You technically know that you have a friend who is pending imminent. He's about to be made an example of in Ravnica. Mom is on the mend. What are we doing?
I am showing Red Rage the collection of bones that I have, that I was planning on making jewelry for her out of.
She will be very delighted to go through the pieces that you have, and they'll mention that like this one would make a really good brooch for the cape that you have, and like they'll kind of put it like in that center part where your collarbone is, and then turn a slight shade of pink before putting it back down in its place.
Oh, what do you think of this one? And like, I hold up a couple of the. I think I had some dragon teeth. These would make pretty cool earrings. What do you think?
Roll a perception check.
Wow, that one.
Red Rage will kind of smirk and be like, I think maybe this piece is a little bit better, and they'll put they'll kind of gesture to. I think you had like a small skull of some kind.
What do I
Um,
have? I should probably look at my inventory, huh? A black dragon claw, a black dragon fang, or I have a couple of those. A kobold skull,
so
and a puzzle box.
they'll kind of like put to the side of your head like almost like a fascinator, like it's like a tiny hat. Just being silly, just being a silly little goose.
I'm just gonna
Cute.
throw something out there real quick. Do I, as Urugaru, see this happening? Like them, like, oh, yeah, let's try.
I mean, it's kind of like a large common room. It's not really the only two that are off. I think having a private moment are Arkmon and his mom.
Yeah, so like it's visible, right?
Yeah.
So Uru will look at this very confused because it's like this idea of making like fancy jewelry out of bones doesn't really make sense. Like armor would make sense. Absolutely, a lot of strong. so Uru will pull out like the ogre tooth that he has in his pack and like kind of put it near his ear and be like, "I don't get it."
Oh, Uru, that could make a really cool septum piercing. Have you ever thought about gauging your septum?
my like my nose.
Yeah, like this, and she holds up one of the dragon claws that she has in front of her nose, kind of like a little bullhorn, whatever it's called, ring.
He'll hold it across his nose, but still like look very confused. To like, I don't get this ritual.
Involve
at
a
all.
non-zero amount of stabbing it through your face.
What is the point of this ritual?
decorative.
Bonding. It's bonding.
Okay, no, hold on. That makes sense. So like you stab these things through your skin, and the shared pain combined with the knowledge of conquest bonds you. Okay, I think I
Get
understand.
it. And the adornments are important because they can be symbols of things, and so by showcasing a certain style of an adornment, you're telling fellow foes and combatants who you are, and so that they can understand how that they should respect you going forward. And she'll kind of like snap out of it a little bit and look at Rayla and be like, I mean, that was weird. Why did I say that?
No, weird.
Rail
On the
is
contrary,
very
you just
good.
explained it perfectly. I completely understand what's going on now.
Rail is like fully enamored by whatever Red Rage just said. She's
Holy.
like, that was beautiful. Say more things like that.
I'll just lean down to Jack and be like, I thought she said
Yeah,
bonding, as if
holy
you just
shit.
meant.
I need you
or
guys
she
to
just
open your
meant
windows real
bonding the
quick.
bone to
Yeah, I
your
can
nose.
hear it, dude. I don't even have the windows open.
Holy fuck. Sorry, we've got like a
Eddie.
monsoon going on right now.
It's probably going to
goodness.
reach us in a
Woo.
few minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
You just
probably.
crack your ear. You can
I
hear
should
it.
go
I
outside
cracked the
and smoke
window
while the
and I
weather's
got
still calm.
sprayed, dude. I can't open
Yeah.
the window.
No, it's bad out. It's gonna be bad.
Down the hatches. Hee, ha! Cold.
Whoa, Bex. Whoa.
What are you doing?
Tripping, but then recovering gracefully.
Like a cat.
Yep.
Call would like to speak to Bogros about all of the soul tokens that we've picked up from the cave, because he would love to work out a way to either cleanse them or get them to the Temple of Bahamut, and he can't do it himself, dressed up as a black dragon. And we also have things to do, and I don't know, or we
Bogros
don't know
will
when.
offer to take them to the temple for you.
Please. Call will give Bogros the tokens with his thanks. So now we have room in our bag again.
The sword feels noticeably lighter.
Cool.
Mm.
He's beginning to grill cheese.
Oh, shit.
I also just feel lighter because you physically got rid of like several
Yeah, there were a
pounds.
lot. There's several pounds of tortured souls. And then from there, he would probably, just for lack of anything better to do and probably a need to clear his head and think, go into the kitchen after Jackie and start baking.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a performance check.
Awesome.
Call, really quick, before that performance check, can I actually get a perception check from you after you hand off the coins to Buggrass?
Yeah. That sucks.
Okay.
Damn.
Darkness, go ahead and roll a perception check as well. Uru can also roll a perception check.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, dude.
That's thunder.
It's coming in sideways. Holy shit.
Yeah, guys, hold on. We're gonna take a minute.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Oh, go down.
Did you see it in the front of the house?
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to the loft. I'm gonna check this shit out.
Shit. You guys okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be alright.
It's just intense as fuck out there.
This house is built tough.
Like a rock.
Why are you worried about
Ah,
me?
like
They
a
love
rock.
this weather. The thunder and lightning excites them. Yeah, holy shit.
I
It
am
is-
going to just pack a quick bong bowl while the weather's calm down here in our
Yeah,
man,
dude, it is rolling rain
About to
across
be
our roof right now. I can
stupid.
see it on top of your room, Captain.
Yeah,
Shit.
bro.
Holy shit. So our drive home today, because it was patches of storm, then sunny, then storm, then sunny, then storm. I think I saw a total of like 8 rainbows, and we went under most of them.
Damn.
One of them ended on the road that we were on. It was crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, it was crazy down here earlier, like around like 1-2. We were really storming, so I wonder how everything navigated as far as the storm. It's not bad now.
Yeah. It was a cool drive, driving through rainbows on the way, all the way up. Yo. Yeah, just admiring the insane weather. This is the monsoon shit for us. I mean, it's not that bad, but
Well, we haven't had a storm like this in a good while.
It's just
Yeah.
it's like it put me back to when
we were in San
things
Jose
flooded
driving
out
up,
like
and
3-4 years
went
ago.
through like 8 or more rainbows.
Yeah.
It was really neat because it was just like storm, then sunny, then storm, then sunny, then storm, then sunny.
Where do we want to head?
Archmon's suggestion is that we break this curse. So therefore, we have
You
to
can see
have
it in
the
the
wrath.
street like crazy. Like
Right,
streams
wrath,
of
or
water.
is it Ratnar Mountains?
It's Wrath.
Wrath.
It's wrath.
I mean, we're on the right side for that as well, and Ravnica, from the explanation that we got from Darkness, as well as the distance that we know it is, it doesn't seem like anything that's feasible in the near future.
Is where the orb is. But
Wait, where?
Rael doesn't know that.
Huh?
No,
What?
can you repeat? I didn't hear what
There's
you said.
another one.
Oh. That was bright.
It was bright, but I don't hear it yet.
I don't hear it either.
Mana, please, I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't mean to say it out loud.
Sorry, I
If you're
think
talking, yeah, sorry.
it's headed to you
That
guys.
part out loud.
Be right back.
That was a distance.
Yeah, it just started raining.
Hey, did Nick just go outside? I wouldn't be surprised.
I think I mentioned that.
I
Mentioned what?
That.
Yeah, we'll say we'll say Rail accidentally let slip that like the orb is in because they're feeling flustered from accidentally letting like their kind of war chief side come out a little bit, that they mentioned that the orb is in
Oh, Red Rage.
Wrath.
Red Rage says that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because you said rail. Sorry, I was like, what?
Sorry.
Um,
oh.
I'm gonna do a performance check to see if I am able to hide my excitement when I hear this. I am not. I am very clearly like at full attention,
Pack your bag.
darting eyes around, trying to see if she noticed that I noticed.
He absolutely did. You were not particularly stealthy about it. So it sounds like we want to head to Wrath.
That's my choice.
Yeah.
I'm definitely wanting to get rid of this curse. So.
Yeah, agreed. I am for this.
Let's do it.
I figure it's not Ravnica, so darkness is absolutely down.
Oh,
Can only beat around the bush for so long, though.
But do we want to stop
Paul-
on the way to confront the dragon people? The Abishai who were torturing baby dragons?
That's the other thing. That's a great point. You did bring it up. I mean, we should be on the move. That's basically the difference between running, more or less, from and Nadar, or facing him pretty much directly, going right to his doorstep.
We might want to do that before we go to Wrath, because if we go to Wrath while Nadar is still alive, we might run into more trouble.
agree. Sorry, I had to turn off my headset. Rail's right. As long as Nadar's alive, it will only be harder for us in Ra. He was a hero when I left, and there's no telling what sort of resources he has access to with Clan Noctir at his back now. I have no idea what we'll be walking into, but Nadar will be in a much higher place of power. But I don't know if he'll expect us to hit him here and now, when security is heightened and he's far from home.
And he's weakened. He doesn't have this blade to rejuvenate himself, more or less. This is keeping him locked down. As much as we need to destroy it, it also is hurting him.
Nadar will prioritize getting the weapon back, and it's probably the closest we'll get him to making a mistake.
Ooh.
I'll look back to our mom. What do you think? I know she's like gone after him already.
Her stance is that she doesn't think that you're ready to face Nadar down. That the difference between that it might, they don't feel like they have the right answer for you. They just feel like you're not ready to take on Nadar. They're like, I obviously don't want you to go to Wrath, but like, because things are bad here, but I don't think you taking out one leg is going to necessarily topple all of the bad things that happen here overnight, and you would have to stay here so much longer to make sure that that all of the evil was rooted out. Like, it's whatever you think is going to be the case, it's going to take much longer than what you're giving it credit for. You're thinking of it as go in, kill that fuck face, and then bounce, when that's not how that will need to go down. Like after he's dismantled, there'll need to be several things that happen afterwards. And do you have the time and energy to do that right now?
What it will do is get him potentially at one of his worst points when he doesn't expect it, which is a great point. And I think we need to. I believe in this team. I think giving everything that we've been through, if we really go at them, I think we can.
Also mentions that if you were to destroy the dagger first, she could then be there to help. And you're going to need a lot of help.
Wait, you can do that?
We would need to go to Wrath for that. We
To
need
destroy the
leave,
dagger?
which is the other option that I've brought up, is that we get out of here. I mean, Nadar at this point, he has to be looking for the blade. He's known it's been missing for a bit now. We've already seen the tracks, and we've seen the presence out there. Getting out of here is pretty damn important. I mean, that's the other thing we got to throw into this. I mean, we saw how it was in the streets out there. It's not going to be so easy as getting to the warehouse as it was last time. It's going to be just as difficult getting out of here.
What about your friend Uru?
We could. I'm sure Gakea would be willing to help.
Who? I was talking about Astara. Who are you talking about?
Well, if we're looking for a way to move quickly, I did meet a caster who teleported me here. So if we needed to get to Roth quickly, and then get back quickly, we might be able to do that. I'm just not sure what the quickly enough is. Besides,
Do you
I don't know
know-
how Astara helps us here. I think our choices are pretty set and dry. We either are going to Roth to destroy the sword, which would be my vote for completely separate reasons, or we are going into a fight head on that we are ill prepared for and likely don't get out of unscathed.
I suppose it would be both are ill prepared for it. We'd be hoping, but bring up a great point. And we could, if we have a quick way to get to Wrath, I'm willing to hear this.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I can't imagine it's as easy as I'm thinking in my head.
Well.
And if
I mean, you
Roll
overthink
me-
things all the time, Uru. I mean, I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, why don't you go ahead and roll me an insight check really quick.
yeah,
If there's one thing that Uru does is actually overthink things, probably.
19.
Hey,
So with a 19, you're not wrong. You know that there's a teleportation ring that goes from that Goliath that's at the foot of the Ratnar Mountains to Babs's location, and so you could probably talk to Babs about booping you from her abode back to where you were originally teleported. So while it doesn't get you necessarily to Wrath in one swift go, it does get you it gets you past
Yeah.
Swamp.
Yeah, it cuts down our movement time. I was teleported here by a Goliath caster named Gakea. That's how I beat you guys here by such a significant margin. Hypothetically, if I were to go back, talk to Babs, use the same access point, we could teleport back to Gakea where I came from. It's not the full way across, but it certainly does cut down our travel time in half.
That's perfect.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Your friend would help all of us to.
Gakea struck me as a lovely spirit. She was somebody I needed to talk to at the time. I trust her vehemently. I have no reason to believe that she wouldn't.
Well, then we have no time to waste.
I didn't know you got here before us because we were here and then we found you. But
I
Guess
had
that
already
makes
been
sense.
here for a day or two before you guys got here.
Jackie doesn't understand the concept of object permanence. Come on.
Jackie, how do you think I knew where to go and what things to do if I hadn't been here already?
Because you're tall. You can see things further than I can, and therefore you know where to go.
You know,
I mean,
in a
Makes
strange way, I completely see your logic.
Right?
Is the blade
It's
now
weird that
lighter
he's
for
starting
Jackie?
to make more sense.
The blade is now
He's-
lighter.
He's beginning to grill cheese.
I will, however, ask a favor. If we
Yeah.
are going to Wrath,
Yes.
I need to go to the Ratnar Mountains. I don't know what is happening fully, but what I do know is, quite frankly, horrifying. And if there's some way to help, I need to know if I can.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be in the right place to do that if we go back there.
That's why I ask. It is. I would not be pulling us out of our way. It would be right there. I
Let's do it.
know it is a little bit selfish of me to ask, given all the things that we have, but
Yeah. I'll reach out my arm to Uru. Try to reach up. His tall motherfucker. All right, takes a little bit, and reach out like we're going to Ratnar.
On a Ratnar.
thank you, my friends. I do appreciate it.
They got good food?
Call will just nod.
We have the best food. Haven't you ever had a delicious, freshly made mountain goat stew?
I heard goats have
Now
cheese.
we're talking.
Do goats actually have cheese?
You could hypothetically make cheese out of goat milk, I suppose. Yes.
The DM is attempting to communicate.
I'm muted. All right, I have a couple of important questions as the DM. First and foremost, what animals are we bringing with us?
Well, you has to come with us.
Okay,
Trips.
I'm going to preface this question by saying the following. I am no longer going to have friendly fire toggled off for animals. I will be including them in blasts. I will be including them in potential damage. So,
Are you trying to get us to stop picking up animals on our journeys?
I think
It's not gonna happen.
because
It's
you're going
not
to need to
gonna
be,
happen.
because I want to know how responsible you're going to feel when they inevitably end up dying.
I would leave the decision of whether or not Snowy's coming with us up to Snowy.
All things.
Snowy wants to stay with
Snowy.
Babs.
Yeah, I figured.
Does
I
Snowy
figured.
does Snowy count in this since they're like a whole ass person?
They're
Ass person.
Yes, Snowy's an
Snowy's a
NPC.
snow weasel.
Snowy's an NPC.
So not just
But,
a.
but Tyke is also an NPC and not a pet. And so, like...
I didn't say
Is-
anything about Tyke. But
You keep Tyke out your mouth.
I did not say shit.
Tyke is on this list for the record, though. It's like, so who all is coming and who all is staying behind?
Jackie's gonna go.
Fucking-
I imagine Red Rage needs to come with us to go to Wrath, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Needs to is
so-
strong. Like they could, like obviously they could sending stone you the whole time, but I imagine you're like, no, you're coming. Duh.
Yeah.
I want Trips and Tyke to come with me, and I honestly don't know if Genuine Risk is even with us right now. It's been a while.
Oh my god, and spirit.
Spirit, absolutely. I mean, that's
I
another
know.
one. That's absolutely been around.
Donkey is okay, so I'm okay. He can be where he's at. He's
mean,
happy.
My bugs stay in their little habitat that I built in my pack. So
But I
I was
want.
gonna say most of the horses are back at Stronghold being taken care of
Fine.
because
That's-
Osceola's.
Oh yeah. No, that's great.
With the exception of Spirit, which was the war horse that was ridden out
Exactly.
by
now a
Eula.
pretty little pony.
I say it is important to note that it was a former war horse.
It belonged
For
to one
war.
of born from Wrath.
But yeah, I want Trips and Tyke with me.
I
Okay.
don't need NPC pets because I adopted 5 babies and then a bunch of kobolds.
It's accurate.
Well, Snowy
Are
will
you
stay
calling
with
us
Babs,
babies?
Yes.
but my buggy boos stay in their habitat in my pouch, so they'll be with me.
Mhm.
Also,
Sure.
because their abilities are useful. Yeah,
Yep.
we might need them.
Okay, so Trips, Tyke, Snowy staying behind, Red Rage is coming, Spirit is coming.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to bring the war horse of a soldier that is now missing in action back to where it came from.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Rail.
cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Rail.
We're also going to Ratnar first, and I think having a war horse to help us up the mountain might be pretty beneficial.
So Retnar's
No.
actually, are we going to Retnar first, or are we going
Yeah.
to?
I was gonna say I thought Ratnar was after.
Wrath then Ratnar.
However you all want to do it.
Oh, okay.
They're both in like Wrath is at the foot of the Ratnar Mountains, so we could do it hypothetically. However,
I was gonna say I do not advise taking the horse up the mountain. It is not a mountain horse.
that was gonna be my number 2. Horse and mountain don't go together.
No.
Oh. In that
They're
case,
practically goats.
I think
Donkey would be
Spirit
okay, but I
behind
don't
might
wanna.
Donkey
be-
would be fine, but
I don't.
the horse
but
is
no,
not
he's not gonna.
designed
enjoy the-
for the mountain terrain of those mountains.
He
It's
says-
another
Well-
flash.
Babs and Snowy can look after.
I'm worried that I'm never gonna see him again if I leave him behind.
But you know
Babs
they'd be
and Snowy
alive.
will take care of them. We'll be back.
Okay.
You could totally bring him with you to Wrath. I'm just saying, bringing him up the mountain seems like a really easy way for him to eventually fall down the mountain.
Well, no, I wanted to bring him with me because I thought it would be a good idea to take him up the mountain, but if it's not, then
If
he
he
can
falls
stay
down
behind.
the mountain, then we get that whole spirit away. Anyway,
I'll take you.
But I do think it would be really smart to take him to Wrath.
Are you sure? Because it sounded like you were trying
That
to tell
feels
me
like
not
it's
to.
actively the opposite of smart.
No, I feel like it's a fun, smart thing to do.
Yeah, I feel
Like-
like it's actively the opposite of smart.
But I wasn't bummed. I was
I-
stoked.
I think it sounds like a fun thing. I think it's like when you're holding onto that item and then the item ends up being relevant. Like it sounds like a fun thing.
I wasn't trying to eat horse meat, but if it helps us survive, I'm for it.
How dare you? All right, Spirit's coming.
What did the dog
You's
do?
coming.
You can also leave Spirit at the base of the mountain. It's fine.
Oh my God! Stop trying to sway me. I want to bring Spirit and I want to bring you. Those are my
Okay.
babies. They're coming with me.
Are you okay?
So Spirit, you, Trips, Tyke,
I'm gonna bring
Actively
Archmon.
making bad ideas.
Red
Shut
Rage.
the fuck up.
I'm going to bring the party and all of their animals.
I'd like to stay behind because it sounds like this is gonna go terrible.
Yeah,
Before-
I'm with her here.
Before we leave, can I stock up on shrinky dink potions, breads, and cheeses? Like if Jackie had a meter on, like how much he needs for grilled cheeses, how filled up is his beater?
I feel like that's a you answer. Like you know the answer to that.
Word
So
to the wise.
I'm gonna stock up here and be full meter.
Okay, so it would take time for you to stock up to the point where I think Jackie will feel content.
How much time do I have?
It's however much time you guys want to take.
I will also throw out Jackie. One leg of this trip requires us to go up a mountain. Do you know how deep the snow gets at the top of the mountains?
It's gonna be hard to make grilled cheeses.
It's gonna be hard for you to walk through the snow if you're shrunken. Please don't drink the shrink potion while we go up the mountain.
I mean,
Jackie,
you
don't drink the shrink potion when we go up the mountain.
Tyke's just sort of looking at you like with this face, like you trying to say I can't go up the mountain.
Tyke is definitely taller than shrunken Jackie.
I hate to break this to you, man, but whether I'm shrunk or not, I'm gonna need uppies. He just gives you a big smile,
How tall is Jackie?
He's 4 foot, so when he
Son
shrinks
of a
down,
bitch, he might be right.
He's only 2 foot.
Oh my god. Itsy bitsy
Like
teeny
a
weeny.
lawn dart, alright? Just saying.
Like an oversized football.
Hey, lawn darts are cool.
He might actually need uppies.
Okay, so first is Wrath and then Ratnar on the way back. And we're bringing literally every animal we can bring that isn't saying I do not consent to being brought along on this journey.
Every
and I'm only doing
consenting
that for
animal.
Snowy because
There's a reason why we've been picking them up along the way. We've amassed an army.
yes.
All
I
right.
was just assuming at some point you would drop the army off at a place.
That's what
We
I
don't
thought
have
we
a
were
war
doing, but apparently Rail's like, no, let's bring the warhorse of the thing that we killed to his home.
We don't have a place to drop them off. It was originally
true.
Arkmon's
We
parents'
have
house, but
Babs. He's been looking after the horse anyways.
True.
I don't want to leave him with Babs.
Nah, let's bring him home and tell the people, yeah, we murdered your people. I'm sure that'll go well.
At this point, he hardly looked like the same horse.
I mean,
It's true.
The
He's all
horse is
pampered now.
The horse has had a bit of a glow up.
Also,
didn't say
he's
it was
like
gonna be
my
a main
friend,
scary
so you know.
Is there
voice the reason, and I hate this.
Before we leave, is there any way that Call, with his knowledge of like the iconography of like the different Dragonborn clans, could he like go over like the saddle and try to like strike off all of the little like clan Noxier bits on it? So
you,
that
guys
it would
got,
be...
you guys got rid of that stuff a long time ago. Spirit's Bitten Bridle's been fancy My Little Pony fight for sessions.
Yeah, I have a whole new bit and bridle that I found in the cave, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, that's
It was
right.
a
It's a
magic item.
Hey guys, you want to stop by this cave? I've never seen it before, and I'm really curious. You guys talk about the cave a lot.
You gotta
Yeah, we
see
can go.
the cave.
We should go in.
Shut
It's
the-
nice.
Oh, that's fine.
does sound
Go
very
back to the
interesting.
cave. Do it. I want you to go back now.
TPK question mark?
Paul, you haven't noticed. Have you noticed you haven't heard from your kobolds in a minute?
Don't do that to me.
No.
Wrath,
Not
go to
like
Wrath,
this.
go to Wrath now. Get the-
PKK, total kobold
No,
kill.
we need. Are we gonna do?
He mistook the P for a K.
All right. So is Tyke coming with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Can Tyke create shrinky dink potions before we go?
Yes, but it does take time to cook.
How much time are you guys willing to wait?
Can I assist her?
don't
Because
have
I
Probably rest.
yeah. If we're gonna do the long rest, I would be willing to assist her as well. Because I've kind of learned how to do it. It'd be a fun activity.
Ooh. Jackie agrees it is fun.
It wouldn't necessarily decrease the time, but you could do more potions. Does that make
But
sense?
it's romantic as fuck. All right, continue.
Let's do it.
Think of it like tamale making. Like it's still gonna take you 4 hours to do it, but now that you're gonna have like more
How
tamales.
well of a team do they work together?
That is a great question. I'm going to use the restroom really quick, and then I will have actually Arkmon, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check followed by a performance check.
Yeah.
Damn it, though. I do like the number, but yeah. A lot of hands always gonna be a lot better.
24/7. How
It's
could it
like-
be helped?
Yeah,
You help it
24/7, baby.
24/7.
Your performance. It's
All
like
day.
you got
AD.
some skills, but you're also showing some humility. You know, to be kind of like approachable. I don't know.
Call me AD. 24/7.
All day.
All day.
You have no plus to your performance.
+3. Right there. Rolled a 4.
I go to 4. Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, Mana's in the bathroom, and I.
So
can
you
do
don't
that.
have anything in your performance.
Who
I'm
watched
also
the
gonna-
X-Men '97 trailer?
The
Yeah,
97.
it looks pretty good, honestly.
I'm so excited.
What's 97?
X-Men '97.
Oh, okay.
Cyclops going, to me, my X-Men was like, ah!
Right? It's such a callback. It feels so good.
It's so good! I'm so excited for it.
Okay, so with your sleight of hand as a 24, you're able to prep everything really, really well. But in terms of the performance, like this isn't your kitchen. It's kind of a small space. Jackie's left a couple of pots out, like so it's like he's had to kind of like work around some stuff. But you're still able to do a fair number of potions. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
Want to say, do you see though? It's 24/7, all day.
Meh.
Does it help?
Come on.
Roll the d10. Jesus Christ.
I'm rolling it. Give me a break, Jesus. I'm clicking.
You start. Jackie start, baby.
Fucking.
Stop instigating.
Yeah, 8. Steve Young. Oh,
All right.
Hey.
So that is 11 shrinky drink potions.
holy shit.
All right, how you divvying those out? You gonna give them all to me or what?
No, I'm not gonna give them all to you, but I know you want them a lot. So I'll give you like 4. Good stash for Jackie, I feel.
Yeah, you would be happy about it.
I honestly feel like it could be useful to everybody, so I suppose I would divvy potentially 1 out to the rest of the crew. I think that would cover.
Everybody else gets one.
Oh, what are they called anyway? Since we've
They're
decided.
called shrinky drinks.
They are the shrinky
Yes.
drink.
I already
They-
have 1.
What
so
do you
there's
mean
only
just?
2.
That's trademarked. That is an official brand, sir, and I will have you not sully my good craftsmanship by declaring it anything less than a superb title. It does. It is. Jesus.
Yeah, it's getting intense out there.
I guess we lose.
Sorry, that was me. I accidentally like dropped out of the call trying to get out of the stream
No,
because
that's not. We're talking about the weather.
Oh,
The weather is the fuck like coming down. All right, cool. So we got some of that, and then. So I do want to mention to the group that last time I've been to that city, I gotta say, even the food that was being thrown away tastes amazing. But like the guards, they didn't really care about most of the things that went on. But there was always this weird line I couldn't quite understand where their line was. But if you crossed it, they were fucking mean.
the problem is the line would differ from clan to clan, and each clan would have its own set of warriors that were responsible for peacekeeping, and everyone had a rotation through the outside area where you would have been.
That probably explains why I couldn't quite figure it out. So things didn't go too well last time I was there. But it's been a while, so it should be okay.
You do remember the food being pretty immaculate, though.
Oh yeah, even the stuff being thrown away.
Mhm.
All
Alright.
right, man.
Yeah.
I have a new plan.
Yes.
Because Spirit and you are my friends, I would like to actually ask them if they would like to come with us.
Both are willing to come with you.
Okay. Then they're good.
the thing that I'm pointing out is I am no longer going to conveniently forget that they exist on the battlefield.
That's fair.
So
They're
it's more
gonna
of
take
a
some
this
damage.
it is an update for are we consenting to your animals might not make it.
Sure.
It's all right. You just cast Find Familiar again, and then you find him, right? That's how it works. That's how it
Mhm.
works, right?
Totally. Totally.
Hmm.
Totally.
Um, Also, actually, Call would like to ask Bog Ross if he knows why he might be hearing the prayers of kobolds in his head.
Oh, Bogross will take a long drag from his pipe and with a slow exhale of what sounds like a really curious what smells like a very curious plume. Eh, he'll start to ramble about what it's like to be connected with another being on that level. And it's usually a sign of like it's like your emotional check engine light is trying to tell you something about how you want to either perceive yourself or how you want to perceive others or how you want others to perceive you, and it's like it sometimes is a literal interpretation, but sometimes it's not a literal interpretation. Sometimes you got to be able to tell the difference between the two, and like again, go roll a d10.
All right, hold on. All right, it's going. D10, do it. Wow, not doing it. The animation dice don't do it for me.
It's okay. You kind of wanted to roll low because it's about 10 minutes before he finally kind of comes to and goes, "I'm sorry, what were we
Oh.
talking about?"
Okay. Right. Well, thank you, I guess.
Roll me an insight check.
The roll.
How
for the
insightful am I in this moment?
Very.
Not super. Kinda. I'm kinda insightful. I'm like 50% insightful.
Nothing happens that you notice, though.
Well,
But you do.
Bogroth is high.
I was gonna say you also kind of get the same vibe that Jackie got while you were having a conversation with Bogros, that he is older than you maybe initially thought. It's that kind of vibe that you get when like when you're talking to somebody and you're like, holy shit, this person is like they're in their 70s. Like they don't look like they could be 7. Like Paul Rudd. Like
Yeah.
it is not until like they're talking about something in such a fashion where you just kind of squint and tilt your head and you're like, oh my god, they're much older than what you thought they were. Because like at first you thought that they were like Eula's age, so a parent, somebody in like their 40s, maybe 50s. But like the more you kind of stare into Bog Ross as he's sort of talking at you for those 10 minutes, like the more you're starting to put together that like he's like pretty old, which is unusual because again, we had a calamity event nigh but 100 years ago.
Apparently, it didn't take out everybody.
It didn't. I was gonna say in the Bay Area was for the most part spared. Everything else was kind of blowed the fuck up though. Lot of destruction. Anyway, it is 10:41. I'm starting to run out of steam.
Isn't
I'm getting
not.
sloppy.
It's not that
It's
late.
Sorry, it is
9:41.
9:41.
It's
I'm getting
100%
sloppy.
10:41.
I'm
Don't let these people lie to you. Don't
I
let
am
these people lie to
EP.
you. It is 10:41.
I am Tress.
Fair. You just said like Craig's
pulled
time
the-
notes.
Pull the time zone on you.
Wasn't
Mhm.
wrong? Yeah.
Aha!
Yes, it
Got
is
'em.
time
True. It is
again.
4:20 somewhere. It's true.
Hype.
You know?
Okay. Well, we have our destination. Awesome. Thank you for hosting, Mana. It's awesome.
Is it
Yeah.
alright if we do our rest now so we don't forget?
Yes. You can go ahead and hit those long rest buttons. For the reminder, you should have 13 points of temporary hit points on your character sheet as well. because those will still carry over. And next session, we will begin our trek to the city at the foot of the Ratner Mountains.
Hooray!
It looks like I'm going home.
Huzzah.
Come at
Me
home.
too.
Come at home.
I've always
Round
wanted to
about,
visit your home,
come
Call.
at home.
Yeah, I've wanted to go for a long time. But,
It'll be fun.
you know,
Sounds
I
to be a
highly doubt that,
blast.
but you know what? Let's try our best.
What do you think Rail is most excited to check out in Wrath?
I want to meet Cole's parents.
Red Rage.
Ooh.
Yeah,
About
that'd be nice.
About
You're gonna
that.
love Call's parents.
Jesus.
I promise you guys this: you won't meet my parents.
I
Did
really
they
don't
hate each
want to
other?
meet my parents.
I may or may not have kicked them off the mountain already.
Literally, you just walking up behind them. They were standing on a cliff edge, and
Whoop!
Did the
Like in
did
the
the old
Giver, they're just
Spartan kick?
yeet.
Fun fact about Goliath culture: once Goliaths become too old and are no longer able to contribute in the hunting and gathering part of society, they are exiled from the mountain. That was my job.
Oh, so you did that way before.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
they might be alive. I don't know.
he might.
I was gonna say, you don't know that they're dead.
I don't know that they're
You just know
dead.
that
I
they're
just
no
know that
longer
they're not on the
living
mountain.
within the tribe. Yeah, absolutely. And not, while that it is considered common practice, it's not unheard of for other tribes to do things slightly differently.
Oh yeah. One thing that Uru has been learning is his very traditionalist tribe is not the only way of doing things.
His tribe
Oh,
is very
man.
King James Bible versus like a Presbyterian's take. Like,
I didn't mean to do that perception check. That was an accident.
no, you're good. I'm
What
gonna
did you
use it.
see?
What did you
Not
roll?
shit. Like 10
Oh,
total.
use nothing.
He noticed there was a grilled cheese. What?
You notice that the place is slightly dirtier than you'd expect it to be, but you assume that that's probably because, like, it's two stoner dudes and a mom who's getting bed rest for the first time probably in their entire fucking life.
Yeah.
I just realized there's a misprint on the D4 of my Power Rangers die set, and I'm sad now.
I mean, it's
Misprints are
valuable.
Uh,
Because it wabi sabi.
so on my 3 side, it's 3 3, and then there's a 4, and then my 4 side has the 2 4s and a 3.
Huh?
It's weird.
You
I think
gave
missprints
me loaded dice?
I
I
think
mean-
misprints are cool.
That's true, because if I roll a 3 on this, I could argue it's a 4.
Yeah, you rolled the right dice. It's
It
not your
is-
fault that they printed it in a weird way.
It is the best D4. 'Cause on one face of the D4, the 3 is a 4.
That's how Uru increases his average dice roll.
I cheat.
It's cheating.
Listen. Sometimes we do what we gotta do, okay? And when your dice rolls are bad enough, sometimes the only thing you can do is cheat.
It's one of my favorite Dimension 20 talks between Abria and Brennan is digital dice versus physical dice. And Bria's 1000% pro digital dice, which I thought was a spicy take initially until they talked about it for 2 seconds. And I'm like, no, you know what, that's fair. Because like as somebody who's worked in a shop that sells dice, dice are not precise, and the more
No.
shit you add to them, like little sparklies or like the dice that have like things on the inside of them, all of that throws off like the perfect randomness of said dice. And like there's a thing called salt testing, which is to sort of prove that your dice are actually truly randomized, and like you're not going to get that 90% of the time, especially with your $5 dice from Amazon. You know what you will get that from? A random fucking number generator.
True. But there is a lack of fun compared to rolling at that.
Oh, absolutely. My goblin brain misses seeing the clicky clacky of the dice hitting any number of things.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
Saying is,
not
what's the
truly
random number generator done for me lately? Last fucking session, I was rolling double ones,
That's the one thing,
or
like,
double
so
threes.
as somebody
Sorry.
who would like design something like D&D Beyond, like I love the digital dice roll. I think that is a great start, but we are in a big group and you're just rolling it and seeing it yourself and then it reports it. Like cool, but I think we all want to see the dice roll too.
Yeah.
Well, that's where a virtual tabletop would come into play here. Like if we
Yeah.
wanted to look into that one that Mana posted a little while ago, or
Right,
you know,
right. If it allowed for a little bit more on the homebrew stuff, I think we'd probably do it. But it's getting closer, so hopefully one day.
I'd like,
Shopping around.
I'd
If
like
we
to
all
point
had
out,
a PC, then we'd probably try the tabletop simulator because that
That's
has
the other thing, is that like
yeah.
not everyone here is on a PC.
Right.
I'd like to point out that the average of my dice rolls today was like a solid 3.
Really?
I rolled 3 ones in a row and then a 19.
Oh, I guess it's fair.
So what is that? Oh, you know
but
what? That does make my average. Oh wait, no, I did that wrong. Never
I was gonna say, but this is an opportunity to do some downtime. So if there were the potions you wanted, or like items you wanted to try to go find, or
mind.
other
5.5.
things you wanted to do, this is a good opportunity to do those things before heading off to the next leg. But this is technically a pit stop.
Okay. I would love to get some healing potions, actually. Is there a way to get healing potions? Something we
Uh,
haven't really used too much.
I was gonna
I
say
have a healing potion.
I would imagine traveling through the town right now would be difficult.
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. That's not to say that it's impossible. It's just the cost might be a bit higher because it would be more like you're trying to find a plug at this point. So it's just somebody who would likely make you a potion that's not from, you know, one of one of the shops that happen to carry them, so that way your purchases are being tracked.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a shame we couldn't check out that spice shop.
Wasn't there an alchemy store run by Myconids?
There is.
Can we go there?
Are they still alive?
The Meccan is running the shop. They are, and you absolutely can.
We did.
It would require some number rolling to see if you can get there without issue, so we can save that for next week.
We did indirectly massacre a bunch of Myconids.
Hey, that
Yeah,
wasn't
wait a
our
minute.
fault.
No,
Hold on.
you. I was
We
gonna say
saved a bunch
that's a glib way of looking at it. It's more like you
We tried to-
prevented them all from getting slaughtered.
So we tried to save the
Yeah.
ones we could, but it was
Yeah.
Nadar. It was the cave.
Yeah, if this was our cave, wouldn't have happened.
Your cave doesn't behave this way.
Yeah. We have cave at home. This is what happens when we try to get cave when we already have cave at home.
That's what we gotta convince Rail. No, Rail, we have orb at home.
We have orb at home.
Give her a bag of marbles.
It's like a Kong ball with like peanut butter treats inside.
Frederick's just secretly looking at books on like how to do glass blowing. They're like, how the fuck do I make an orb? Like,
Would you say she's pondering?
shut up. No, I would not. How dare you?
We do not ponder in this household.
There's no pondering here.
We
No
orb.
pondering allowed.
Yep.
All right,
Hey,
I am good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very
GG.
much.
Well,
This is
playing-
awesome.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
thank
was
you.
gonna say sorry. I was a little lackluster. I was a little tired, but
Yeah, this is fun.
I'm glad we got back into it.
Yeah, this was fun.
little-
Y'all had a loaded weekend anyway, so I'm happy that we got to play. We got to roll dice.
Dude, we're going to Ravnica.
It's alright. We'll run it back tomorrow. All right?
No, we're not.
Yeah?
We're going to
yeah.
You're absolutely
That's-
not going to Ravnica.
I mean,
We're-
long run, maybe.
No.
Going to Ravnica.
Long,
At
long one,
some point, we'll
never.
end up in Ravnica.
Jackie
Going ra-
thinks
we're
we're
going-
going to Ravnica.
We're going to Ravnica.
Just like when you tell your kid you're going to Disneyland and then you take him to the dentist instead.
If anybody ever did
That's
that,
how you
you're
develop
a
trust
kid.
issues.
You must have been a
I'm-
shitty kid. Anyway.
I'm suddenly reminded of like when my mom
Like,
said,
bitch,
"Pack your
you're
bag,
getting
we're
the
going on a
root
trip,"
canal.
and then took me whitewater rafting with no other warning.
Strap in, kid.
Well, thank you for hosting the game tonight. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also tired, so I am going to head out.
Yeah. Catch y'all later.
Jeez.
GG's gang.